Hey! My name is Jesus Castelló, and in this video you're going to learn about Heredocs in Ruby. So what is a Heredoc and why is it useful? Let me show you. Here we have an HTML snippet, a little bit of HTML code, right? Let's say that we want to embed this into our Ruby code. So we can use this for testing, for parsing, or for anything that you want. So basically it is a multi-line string, right? Because it spans multiple lines. Now, a Heredoc, what it is exactly this. Heredoc is a multi-line string that you embed, that you put inside your code like this HTML. It could be SQL, can be anything that you want, some kind of text or other kind of code. Now the Heredoc itself, the syntax is like this. You have these two, I don't know what you call this, angle brackets, I guess. You have two of those, or less than symbols. And then you have this dash, and then you have some kind of word, usually in uppercase like this. So this word can be anything that you want. In this case I choose HTML because that's what we have. We have some kind of HTML code, right? So that's the first part, and then you assign that to a variable so you can save the string. So the result of this is a string. So you can see if I run the code, there it is. So I put the string, so we see the output, which is the same thing, right? It's the code as it is. Now you will notice that we have this HTML twice. Why is that? Because this used as a label, that marks the start of the Heredoc, start of this kind of multi-line string, and the end. This always has to be on its own line, right? So if I put it like this, Ruby thinks this part of the string, right? So Ruby knows that it's the end of the Heredoc. You need to use the same word and be on its own line. That means that there is nothing else on this line but this word. Okay? So that's how you make a Heredoc, and the result, as you can see, is a string. We can verify that using the class method, as you can see. Now, why do we use a Heredoc instead of use a string? Well, here's the reason. Let's say that I do the multi-line string like this, and that's valid Ruby syntax, right? This will work. But now look here. What happens? Something new appeared. Something new is here now. We have a new line. We don't want this new line, right? We want the code, the text as it is. We don't want anything added to it, right? So this new line might be a problem if you're trying to compare this with another string, right? That might not have this new line at the start. So that's why we use Heredocs. There's a few things that you can do with Heredocs. For example, you can call methods, like you could call strip, or you could call even size. And in this case, what you get is not a string, you get the result of calling size on that string. So that's the size of this. So that's how you call a method on the string produced by the Heredoc. Now let me show you something else. Let's say that I put this into a method, let's call it foo, and now I move this, and of course I want to indent it so it looks nicer, right? Because if I have it like this looks really ugly. But usually you indent things inside a method, so it's easier to see, it's easier to read, it looks nicer, right? If I call this method, you will notice something happens. This space here, these extra spaces, were not here before. Where are these coming from? Well, these spaces are coming from here. So the thing about Heredocs is that they are completely literal. So whatever is there, it will be on the output. So that's why we have these extra spaces. But again, we don't want, most of the time, like 99% of the time, you don't want this extra indentation because that's not part of the HTML. That's something we added just so we can have nicer code, right? So what's the solution to this? Well, maybe you think strip will work, right? I just show you how you can call methods on this. Well, it does something, but strip only removes the white space from the start of the string and the end of the string. So that's why it removes these spaces but not these spaces, because these spaces are inside the string. So strip only works on the outside, not in the inside. Okay, so strip doesn't work. So what we can do? Well, we can use something called the squiggly Heredoc. The squiggly Heredoc. It looks like this. We just change the dash. So this dash, we delete it and we change it by the tilde character. Okay, so that's the squiggly Heredoc. It's like a regular Heredoc, but only that you change the dash by this character. And what happens now? Well, if you look here, I'm going to run the code now, and the extra spaces are now gone. They have been removed by the squiggly Heredoc. But notice one important thing is that the real indentation of the HTML is still there. It didn't remove everything. So it only removes the indentation that we added to make our code nicer, not the indentation that's part of the string. So that's really nice and very useful. So that's called the squiggly Heredoc. And it's available since Ruby 2.3, okay? Ruby 2.3 or newer to be able to use this squiggly Heredoc. So that's Heredocs for you. Hope you found this video useful. If you did, please click the like button for me so I know that you like this video. And if you want to keep learning, subscribe to the channel now if you haven't yet. Watch more of my videos and visit my website rubyguides.com. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.